Hey everybody, I wanted to make a video talking about some of the common questions or concerns that doctors have that we talk to on the phone about putting an exercise department into their clinic. So let's start in just a second. Before I get started, if you haven't seen our 30-minute pre-recorded demo of how our program works, please check it out. Go to demo.movenowyou.com, and when you go there, you can watch it at your convenience. You can watch it now, you can watch it later, you'll get an email, check your junk mail, make sure, sometimes it goes to junk, and you have a link to get back in and you can watch it whenever you want. All right, so check out the demo. And if you don't want to, then don't. It's that easy. But I would recommend that you do because it answers most of your questions. So now here's the most common questions, and I'm just going to run through them in no particular order. So question number one is, do I have to have specialized staff perform the exercise stuff with patients if we're billing this to health insurance? Now, the disclaimer that I will give is it varies from state to state. I am not a compliance officer certified, anything like that, nor do I pretend to be. We have a compliance guy we use. His name's Dr. Perry Barnhill, and he can help with a lot of these things. But ultimately, what he will tell you is the same thing I'm going to tell you, is look at the contracts that you signed with your insurance company, read through them, and see what it says as far as either a service provider, service extender. There's different verbiage that they use as far as who helps render services in your clinic. And some of the insurance companies just say anyone can do it based on, there has to be a licensed chiropractor in the clinic overseeing it. So who can be there close by if they need help. That chiropractor is one that has to program it out and the guidance and all that, which we do in the belt system. Chiropractors choosing what protocol to be using in the belt system. So like all of that's accomplished inside of our systems. But as far as who can actually take a patient through it, in some states you have to have certified personnel such as a certified medical assistant, so a CMA, certified nursing assistant, CNA, a registered medical assistant, an RMA, which is kind of like the same thing as a CNA, but they call it something different, or a physical therapy assistant, which is a PTA. Those are the ones, or obviously another licensed chiropractor can do it. So if you have an associate doctor who can help out with that obviously works. That's obvious. So now how do you find those types of staff if your state requires it? And I'll tell you, about 50% of the states don't require it. It seems like. I'm giving that 50% number just based on the different doctors I've talked to and the feedback that they've told me that their insurance contract says or doesn't say. So if they don't require it, then you hire anyone, and I would recommend hiring a personal trainer, someone that understands movement and actually cares about it to begin with. Those typically tend to be the best people going into it, the easiest to train. But you can hire someone who knows nothing about exercise, and you can do that too because they jump into Move Now You program. They learn everything they need to learn. You work with them a little bit. They learn it that way too. I've done both routes. However, if you have to find one of those certified people, like a CMA, CNA, RNA, find out what trade schools you have in your area that graduate those students. Go and talk to those schools and say that you want to be a providing clinic for continuing education hours, or sorry, not continuing education, but for their internship hours, and that you want to participate in that. What does that do? That gives you someone that can come in, they work for free, and they're basically doing their hours working for free. You can try them before you buy them, so meaning you can try them out before you even offer them to hire them, and it's just a great thing to do. So that's something we've done. We found some excellent people that way. And to be honest, our current billing manager, she is someone that we hired from one of those schools locally, and she is awesome. She's been with us for 4 years. She started as an exercise therapist. She knows almost everything in the clinic. She knows quite a bit, and she started like that. All right, so anyway, that's one thing that I wanted to mention as far as the questions that we have, as far as like, what are the requirements for the people who help render the services? State by state, you got to look up in your contracts. You can talk to a compliance person. Perry Barnhill is the guy I recommend talking to from Fearless Chiropractor. You can reach out to us and ask some questions. We're just going to tell you to look at your insurance contract. But here's the reality, everyone. Most insurances have high deductibles anyway, And as long as you have a compliant fee schedule for once the insurance exhausts, or if the patient decides to not use the insurance, like if you have a compliant fee schedule program such as Chiro Health USA, which is what we use through Chiro Health USA, that's what the patient's going to be doing anyway, either because it's too expensive to meet their deductible, or their insurance only covers 12 visits and then their insurance exhausts while they're attempting to meet their deductible, or if you get lucky and they have 18 or 20 visits and they meet their deductible and then they have like 5 visits that are covered under their insurance after they met their deductible, they are then going to switch to a self-pay patient anyway. We say self-pay, we don't say cash because it sounds sleazy, and it's more accurate to say self-pay. So self-pay. And to make sure that you have a compliant, non-dual fee schedule set up, you have to use something like Chiro Health USA. So you can reach out to those good people over there and they can help you out with that. And we teach about that inside of our program as well. And just a side note, everything we talk about is just stuff that we use, because I'm a full-time practicing chiropractor. And so everything we use in practice, we use because it helps us and it works. And those are the people that we promote, not for the sake of promotion, but for the sake of that's who we found to be the best solution for those situations that need those solutions. I don't want to say problems. So that's the first question. Is there a second question I can add? Oh yeah, the second question is, let's say you're in a clinic where you don't have staff doing it. You as the doctor are going to do it. How do you make that transition to then hiring a staff person and bringing the staff person in to train them? My recommendation is, once you join our program, you get familiar with this for a couple of weeks as the doctor. You immediately start looking to hire someone. You find someone to hire. You're already a couple weeks ahead of that hiree, and then they can jump into the program. They can start checking it out. You're getting your feet wet, doing it with maybe a patient or two per hour and jumping back and forth between adjusting. And then they shadow you, and then you slowly step away, and then they take over, and then that's how you hire an exercise therapist. That's how you get started from like ground zero, from square one. You have to start somewhere, you know? That's what you do. Ideally, what you do is, instead of hiring someone brand new, is you have an existing staff person who wants to learn it and help out in that process too. So you have a couple people trained up. They jump in there. They learn it, they know it. You have a new hire that jumps in with them. You help orchestrate the process, and then you slowly back out as well. So those are a couple ways to do it. Those are 2 of my top questions, and plus I'm at my clinic now, so I gotta go. Check out our demo at demo.movenowyou.com if you haven't already. Have a great day. Let me know what other questions you have, and I'll make some videos answering the most common questions. All right, over and out.